What's up, Mets fans? Welcome back to the channel. And Mets fans, gotta ask yourself this question. Are the New York Mets done via trade or free agency? And with some reports coming out, and you probably have seen a little bit of the smoke going around in regards to Brett Baty and the possibility of him getting traded, possibly and most likely to the Seattle Mariners. And this is something where it kind of came to a head considering the fact that the Mets brought in Bo Bichette. We know about Simeon and Polanco. There's a lot of crowdedness in this infield. And Brett Baty, it's considered a utility guy at this point when a couple of weeks ago, the Mets and Mets fans thought that Brett Baty was going to be the everyday third baseman. And for unforeseen circumstances, Bo Bichette is the third baseman now. The Mets made other plans. Now, the same thing happened with Jeff McNeil. Even though Brett Baty has a bright future and is younger than Jeff McNeil, we heard David Stearns prior to Jeff McNeil getting traded basically saying he's going to be a utility guy. He's going to play this position, that position, going to be a jack of all trades. Same thing you're hearing with David Stearns about Brett Baty. Utility guy, can play all different positions. We're going to use him at first, left, infield positions, all over the place. Another jack of all trades. David Stearns is hyping up Brett Baty. And you know what? There doesn't need to be a lot of hype up for Brett Baty because he had a good season last year and his value couldn't be higher. If I'm the New York Mets, I would take that value and see what you can get to better this team in other parts of this roster. Can Brett Baty get an opportunity to play every day? Sure. But where? I don't want to play him in left field. I don't even want to try that. That can be a Lucas Duda. That can be just a terrible situation for Brett Baty to make him learn another position that is not even the infield. First base you can talk about, but you do have Polanco, you do have Vientos. So he's kind of blocked over there. And even if Vientos and Polanco play first base as a platoon, and let's say Tyrone Taylor or Carson Bench plays left field, Brett Baty's sitting on the bench. That is not useful for him or the New York Mets. So this is where you just have to see, all right, he's an asset. How much value does he get on the trade market? And when it comes to the Seattle Mariners, it seems like a perfect fit, right? They're probably going to lose Eugenio Suarez. They're going to probably look for an infielder, especially a guy that can play multiple positions. Why not try to upgrade the bullpen? That seems like a perfect fit. Well, the Mariners have some good bullpen arms, and there is a trade, and there are some names that have been talked about. If you look at reports, just Google Brett Baty's name with the Mariners, and you'll find a good bunch of information when it comes to Seattle Mariners, and I'll show you the trade that has been rumored about. And I do think Brett Baty could be traded. And if it helps the bullpen get another arm, a high leverage reliever, or at least a good middle reliever, I think you have to make that trade. Because right now, Brett Baty really doesn't have anywhere to play. I don't want to hear people say left field when you have Carson Bench that can be our left fielder, and you also have Tyrone Taylor. I'm not playing Brett Baty because of the possibility of his potential bat over Carson Bench or Tyrone Taylor. If you're going to talk about defense and run prevention, Baty shouldn't be playing left field. And first base does not make sense when you have Polanco and Vientos on this roster. It just blocks Brett Baty some more because Polanco, just like Brett Baty, hasn't played first base. At least Vientos has some time at first base. I don't want to be playing with this infield and make the defense even more questionable when he got it at both corners with Bo Bichette playing third base for the first time and possibly Polanco or Baty playing first base consistently for the first time. It's a dangerous game to play, especially when you shored yourself defensively up the middle. So with the trade that has been rumored about, this is what I'd be looking at for a Mariners Mets trade, and it looks like this, guys. The Mets will get reliever Matt Brash, and a minor league single A pitcher in Sinji is a guy that he has a hard thrower. This is just a little bit of a extra depth down the road. But it's an interesting piece. That was what the rumored report was about in trade. But Matt Brash is a guy that is a solid reliever, had a good season last year, pitched over 50 games in relief for the Seattle Mariners, one of the better relievers on that team that wasn't a closer. Very good arm. You can slot him in right in the middle of this bullpen. He's a guy that can be a setup man, seventh inning guy. He can pitch all over the place. Be a great addition to the bullpen. It would solidify the last spot in the bullpen for the New York Mets. And that is where you can look at it when it comes to a Brash, where you can look at the fact that this deal is not just about getting a reliever. It's also getting rid of a little bit of that overcrowded in the infield, because you still got Vientos and you still got Mauricio. That is important. You do got AJ Ewan. You do got Reimer in the minor leagues that are infielders as well, that are coming up the ranks rather quickly. And Brett Baty can seem expendable. And this is coming from somebody who is a big fan of Brett Baty and likes him a lot. But I'm looking at the bigger picture. I'm looking at who can help us more in the 2026 season and possibly beyond. Brett Baty could, but if they believed in Brett Baty so much, why go out and go get Bo Bichette when Brett Baty was the third baseman? I want Met fans to question that. Why did they go get Bichette when they knew Brett Baty basically had nowhere to play every day on this team? So it doesn't make sense to keep him around, because he's not going to get enough playing time. And we've seen the disaster that can cause, like last year. A guy who's not good and not used to coming off the bench and used to starting every day is a problem for these guys. It takes years to figure that out. Not a lot of young guys who've played every day for all their career and their minor leagues in high school and college are not used to playing on the bench. Some of them have to learn to be bench players and to stay hot and stay warm for a pinch hit appearance, pinch run appearance, defensive replacement appearance. I don't see Brett Baty as that guy. I don't think he'll be good coming off the bench. It's not a good enough bat to come off the bench. And that is something that I am looking at with the overall outlook of the team. So would I do this deal? Yes. And this is a big Brett Baty fan talking right here. But I would do this deal because it strengthens your bullpen even more, while you strengthen your rotation with Peralta and Nolan McLean at the top of your rotation. And I do believe the New York Mets are going to add another pitcher, maybe a Jose Quintana, maybe a Zach Gallen. Maybe they're still in on Framber Valdez, and maybe the crazy possibility of still going after Tariq Skubal. But Brett Baty to the Mariners for Matt Brash is a smart move for the New York Mets, because it bolsters your bullpen along with you strengthening up your rotation. And Brett Baty isn't a starter at this current moment for the New York Mets. He could play first base, but what do you do with Vientos then? That is the issue that you're running into. Polanco is going to play every day. Is it going to be DH? Is it going to be first base? Brett Baty's getting blocked at this point. His best position is third base. His second best position is second base. And they're blocked. Unfortunately for him, he's the odd man out. And when you have that odd man out and his value is probably at the highest it's going to be right now, use it as an asset to bring in a very good reliever to bolster your bullpen. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think of the possibility of Brett Baty from Matt Brash, the reliever from the Mariners. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think. Would you do this trade, guys? Thank you guys for watching. And as always, Met fans, let's go Mets.